So recently, I heard in the news that Quebec is planning to reopen their primary schools in May, even while the pandemic is still going on. Now, as it stands at the moment, the province of Quebec is one of the most hard-hit provinces in Canada with respect to the COVID-19 pandemic. So that's a true fact. Now, everything after this is a piece of fiction. It's just for laughs only. Because I've been thinking about how school would be like to keep everyone safe when the children do return to school and the coronavirus is still spreading in the community. So here we go. First, we need to consider how the children will get to school. So children can walk to school, they can bike to school, they can be dropped off by parents, or they can take the school bus. But with school bus, there's a bit of a problem with keeping physical distancing. So for example, children will have to sit in alternating rows with one person on the left side and one person on the right side, which means that you might need 2 to 4 times more buses to get all the children to school because the capacity of each bus has just been drastically reduced due to physical distancing requirements. And then when the students arrive to school, they will have to line up outside their classroom door. There will already be pieces of tape on the floor 2 meters apart, marking where people will stand in the lineup. So with 15 students per class, lining up 2 meters apart, the lineup will be 30 meters long from each classroom door. And when the bell rings, the teacher will open the door and nobody will be allowed into the classroom because first, the teacher needs to check the temperature of each student. Anyone with a body temperature over 37.5 degrees Celsius will be provided with a face mask and will be taught how to put on the face mask, and the student will be supervised to make sure that the face mask is put on properly, and then the student will be sent to line up outside the school nurse's office. And the school nurse is wearing a head-to-toe protective uniform. Yes, that means cap, goggles, mask, gown, gloves, shoe covers, and oh, did I mention N95 respirator. So for the sci-fi lover, the school nurse is now an astronaut. Wow, that must be the coolest job on Earth. And for the RPG gamer, that's a full suit of armor. This nurse is ready for battle. Ready for battle against bugs, little bugs, tiny bugs, invisible bugs. And for the fantasy lover, the nurse is now, the nurse becomes a fairy without wings. Anyways, the nurse slash astronaut slash warrior slash fairy without wings will proceed to perform a COVID-19 swab test on each student identified with a body temperature over 37.5 degrees Celsius, after which point the child will be sent home and the child will be asked not to return to school until the parents receive the test results. As for all the students with normal body temperature, they will be allowed to enter the classroom. However, they must first be instructed and supervised to wash their hands or sanitize their hands. And then they'll be allowed to take their seats in class. If there are desks in the classroom, the desks will have already been spread out as far away as possible from each other. If the students are normally expected to sit on the carpet, then there will be 15 marked spots on the floor. So 3 rows of 4 and 1 row of 3 for 15 seats. X's and O's, right? Like tic-tac-toe, 8 X's, 7 O's, or 7 X's and 8 O's. 15 spots for the students to sit down on. But as soon as they sit, they'll have to stand to sing O Canada. In French, en français, ils sont au Québec, alors ils sont l'hymne national du Canada en français. Right? In Quebec, they're going to sing the national anthem in French. And the national anthem will be sung probably 15 minutes or so later than usual, due to there being too many tasks to do at the start of the day. So after the singing of O Canada, the national anthem, the teacher then proceeds to teach the most important lesson of the day. Right? The teacher now has to teach about viruses and COVID-19 and coronavirus pandemic, hand hygiene, physical distancing, and just setting up some ground rules for everyone. It's really important because this is the stuff that the children just have to know to be safe for the day and for the rest of the school year. Imagine teaching a bunch of kindergarten children what a virus is. Invariably, a child will raise his or her hand and ask, "Are the viruses in my lungs the same as the viruses in the computer?" To which the teacher responds, "Of course not. The virus in your lungs makes you sick. The virus in your computer makes your computer stop working." Of course the child doesn't get it, because there must be a reason why I was taught to wash my hands before touching the computer, and then wipe the computer when I'm done using it, and wash my hands again. It must be because if I'm sick, I can give my virus to the computer, and then the virus gets sick, and then the computer gets sick, and the computer will stop working. And then nobody else can use the computer. Oh yeah, and one more ground rule. Did I mention that if any child is caught picking their nose, they'll be sent home on a 14-day suspension. Oh, wait, I think I just picked my nose like 5 seconds ago or something. But I'm not on camera, so you didn't see anything. So I'm fine. Doesn't matter anyways. I think I'm already suspended. I've been home more than 14 days, so I'm entitled to pick my nose a couple of times. Anyways, I digress. Next, after the most important lesson of the day, is recess. So children are supervised by supervision aides while they're on the playground. So for example, if you want to play with the swings, you have to line up 2 meters apart and wait for your turn. And after each child is done on the swings, the supervision aide has to disinfect the swing before the next child uses it. Same thing with the seesaw. Seesaw is allowed because the seesaw is more than 2 meters long. Therefore, the 2 children using the seesaw are seated more than 2 meters apart. It's just that somebody needs to disinfect the seesaw after every 2 children uses it. Monkey bars, I suppose, are allowed as well. You just need someone to wipe each monkey bar after a child uses it. However, playing tag is absolutely not allowed because tag requires physical contact, and physical contact of any sort is completely forbidden at this point. In the past, the rules were no touching of a sexual nature, right? That makes a lot of sense, no sexual harassment. But now, the rule is no touching for any reason at all. Even coming too close is forbidden. And how about classroom playtime? For anyone choosing to play indoors, toys cannot be shared, so children are asked to bring their own toys from home and play all by themselves. No sharing. And after playtime, they put the toy back in their backpack and bring it home. So after recess is library time. Students are taught to look for a book without touching it. Okay, so remember those days when we go to the library, you pick up a book, you flip through a few pages, you put it back on the shelf, you pick up another book, see if you like it, you don't like it, put it back on the shelf. Nope, that's not allowed anymore. Things are a bit different now. So the students are now taught to read the spine of the book for the title and author. Because the moment you touch that book, you must borrow that book. And after you borrow the book, you do not return the book until June 20 something. So basically you keep the book for the rest of the school year. So let's say if you're in divisions 1 through 5, you're going to return your book on June 21st. Let's see what day of the week that is. Oh no, it's a Sunday, so no, not June 21st. June 22nd. If you're division 1 through 5, you return your books on June 22nd. And then if you're division 6 through 10, you will return your books on Tuesday, June 23rd. And if you're division 11 through 15, then you return the books on June 24th, and so forth. So the librarian will be very busy in the last week of June, reshelving each book for the summer. No need to disinfect any of the books because the assumption is that no one will be reading the books over the summer, and we assume that all the coronavirus will be dead in the library long before school opens again in September. So after library is music class. So music class should now be relabeled as singing class because you don't want to share instruments. So everyone will just sing songs of hope and love and happiness, or just sing children's songs. Math class. Math class, there will be no counting blocks, no poker chips. You just use your brain. You do worksheets, and if you have to, then you count your fingers and maybe your toes. Now it's lunchtime. Now lunchtime will be a little bit different because half the school will have lunch first, and then half the school will have lunch later. And there will be assigned seating to make sure students are not seated too close together. And of course, everyone will be supervised to wash their hands. Very important, wash your hands. And then after lunch is art class. So the teacher has already painstakingly sorted out a bag of crayons and construction paper, scissors, glue for each student. So basically every student has their own little baggie of art supplies because no sharing. So someone's going to say, well, I want to use the pink crayon that's in her bag. Well, too bad. You don't always get what you want, especially during a pandemic. Teacher, what's a pandemic? I thought we talked about that this morning. Anyways, last thing, gym class. So for gym class, there will be no soccer, no basketball, no softball. Sorry, Little League is canceled this year. Of course, no capture the flag. So basically, gym class will be track and field. But it's normally track and field in the spring anyway, so it's pretty normal. Except when you do a relay, the baton has to be wiped each time someone touches it, which pretty much means every single transition. When you do long jump and you land in the sand, you have to shuffle away the sand and add in some new sand. Just don't do long jump this year. Just skip it this year. Wait until next year. And shot put, what? I thought kids didn't do shot put in primary school. But in case you do, just make sure you wipe off the shot put after you use it. So yeah, I think there you have it. A day in the life of a child during a pandemic. So let's wait and see what really happens in a few weeks. And also, now's a good time to give an applause to all the children and teachers and parents for taking this brave step forward to do something that most other provinces are hesitant to try at this moment. It'll be a nice experiment for everyone to see what happens. In the meantime, stay home, stay strong, have hope, stay healthy.